Hello everybody and welcome back to Every Card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's part 9 as I continue to look at the Dark Magician support cards. In this video I've got 10 spells to read through. Let's get into it. Firstly, we've got Knight's Title, which is a normal spell card that reads: tribute 1 face-up Dark Magician, special summon 1 Dark Magician Knight from your hand, deck or graveyard. Right off the bat here we've got mention of another Dark Magician support monster, and I must have missed this one when I covered those, so I will add this to my future video on the Chaos monsters. I'm showing it on screen for now, and I'll just say it doesn't have any notable synergy with the other Dark Magician cards. It can only be special summoned with Knight's Title, which can impressively do this from anywhere, but there just isn't space in any real strategic deck list for these cards. It really says everything about them that they are the lowest possible rarity in Master Duel. Next is Sage's Stone, which is another normal spell card, and its effect is: if you control a face-up Dark Magician girl, special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or deck. A simple card for sure, and it fits into strategies that focus on summoning the Dark Magician and Dark Magician girl together. Much like the Blue Eyes archetype, there are so many support cards now that there are a lot of different builds available depending on what your style of play is. This is one of the weaker ones though, as it's much more difficult to get Dark Magician girl onto the field than Dark Magician, meaning more often than not this card is going to be a brick in hand. I think this card mainly just exists because Taya needed it at one point during a duel in the anime, so I guess that's as good a reason as any. Thirdly, Dark Magic Attack is a normal spell, and its effect is: if you control Dark Magician, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. This card can be compared to one of the oldest normal spells in the game, Harpy's Feather Duster, which is so powerful that it's been limited to 1 in all versions of the game and has been banned in both the OCG and TCG for long stretches of time in the past. Destroying all of your opponent's spells and traps is a great way of removing potential threats, but why run Dark Magic Attack when you could just run Harpy's Feather Duster? Well, there's a couple of things going on here. First of all, because Dark Magic Attack mentions the Dark Magician, it can be searched very easily within the archetype, with the continuous Trap Eternal Soul notably being able to add it to hand once per turn. Secondly, it can of course be run up to 3 copies, which isn't necessarily the most strategic approach, but it can still prove effective. This card references the Duel Monsters anime, in which the attacks actually had names, and whilst this isn't an attack, you can see what they were going for. It's worth noting the card itself didn't appear till after the anime though. The next card is Bond Between Teacher and Student. It's another normal spell, and it reads: if you control Dark Magician, special summon 1 Dark Magician girl from your hand, deck or graveyard. Then you can set 1 Dark Magic Attack, Dark Burning Attack, Dark Burning Magic, or Dark Magic Twin Burst directly from your deck. You can only activate 1 Bond Between Teacher and Student per turn. Similar to Sage's Stone, but a lot better because there are many more instances in which you'll already have Dark Magician on the field. This card is made even better by the fact that it can then grab one of 4 different cards from the deck, which can all help in different ways depending on the situation you're in. I'll be getting more into the most powerful of these, Dark Burning Magic, in the next part of this series. Following that, the next normal spell is Dark Magic Twin Burst, which has the effect to target 1 Dark Magician you control. It gains attack equal to the combined attack of all Dark Magician girl currently on the field and in the graveyards until the end of this turn. You can only activate 1 Dark Magic Twin Burst per turn. Considering Dark Magician is the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense, it doesn't actually tend to need a further boost unless you've got a formidably strong monster to get over. Something that doesn't come up all that often, as most of the focus on dismantling your opponent's field actually happens during the main phase, and if it should come to battle, the extra deck monsters are going to be the focus. For that reason, this card doesn't tend to see much play at all. Sixth up for today is the Eye of Timaeus, which is a normal spell card, and it reads: this card is also always treated as Legendary Dragon Timaeus. Target 1 Dark Magician monster you control, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions that monster on the field as material, using it as the fusion material. You can only activate 1 the Eye of Timaeus per turn. I talked about the Timaeus monster in the last video, and whilst that is an essential ingredient of the deck, this one is optional. During the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era, the card Metamorphosis became a staple of summoning fusion monsters with just 1 material, eventually getting banned until very recently in the TCG. Similar to the comparison of Dark Magic Attack and Harpy's Feather Duster, this is a convenient option due to how easy it is to search with other Dark Magician cards. The wording is a bit awkward, but any monster that is treated as Dark Magician or contains Dark Magician in its name can be used as material, meaning this can be used with Dark Magician Girl to go into Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. The eventual release of more consistent cards like the aforementioned Timaeus the United Dragon and the quick play spell Secrets of Dark Magic meant that by the time Master Duel was created, the Timaeus spell was difficult to fit into a strategic 40 card deck list, and in this card has always been an outside choice in Master Duel. Next up, we've got Magic Formula, which which is an equip spell, and its effect is equip only to Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. It gains 700 attack. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, gain 1000 life points. There's not much to break down here. Gaining 1000 life points is pretty much always going to be inconsequential, and as an equip spell, it's rarely going to come in handy, as once again, destroying monsters by battle really tends to be a last resort. 8th up for today is Magician's Salvation, which is a field spell, and its effect is when this card is activated, you can set one Eternal Soul directly from your deck. If you normal or special summon Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters. Special summon one Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your graveyard with a different name than that monster. You can only use this effect of Magician Salvation once per turn. You can only activate one Magician Salvation per turn. Okay, most of this card's effect never comes up, but it's still pretty much essential to run at a single copy due to the fact it searches Eternal Soul. I'll talk more about that card in the next video, but know that once it's on the field, Magician's Salvation often becomes a card to just send to the graveyard for the summon of Timaeus, or maybe by the effect of Magician's Souls. If it remains on the field, it can of course special summon a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from the graveyard, should the circumstances allow for it. Penultimately, we've got Dark Magical Circle, a continuous spell card which reads, when this card is activated, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then you can reveal one of them that is Dark Magician or a spell trap that mentions Dark Magician and add it to your hand. Also, place the remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. If Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can target a card your opponent controls, banish it. You can only use each effect of Dark Magical Circle once per turn. This is an essential part of the archetype, with there being so many ways to summon Dark Magician that once the engine is running, its once per turn banish can become lethal to the opponent's board. On top of this, its activation effect allows some Heart of the Card style top decking, with it more often than not also adding a card to your hand. And if Soul Servant is chained to its activation, you can basically have a choice of cards. This card's artwork features the same Dark Magic Circle that appears in many of the other Dark Magician cards. Last up for today, it's Dedication Through Light and Darkness, which is a quick play spell, and it has the effect to tribute one Dark Magician, special summon one Dark Magician of Chaos from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Simple enough, a little like Knight's title from the start of this video, it tributes Dark Magician for an alternate version, and Dark Magician of Chaos is one of those cards that doesn't cleanly fit into one archetype or the other. I'll do a bigger deep dive on this monster when I discuss the Chaos and Blackluster Soldier cards. And that is everything for this video. I've alluded to this a couple of times, but as I go through, I seem to keep finding cards that would have worked in previous parts, but for whatever reason I missed at the time. There are a lot of archetypes in the game that overlap with each other though, so I'd imagine this isn't the first time that this will come up. I like doing 10 cards per video for now, so when I can't hit that number, I'll top it up with things like Magician of Black Chaos. So just as I was finishing up this video, a bunch of new Dark Magician stuff was added to Master Duel, including the card Dark Magician of Destruction, and some alternate arts which I'm just going to show on screen quickly. Other than that, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed, then leave a like and maybe think about subscribing and following me on Instagram. I'll be back in the next couple of days with some unboxings, and part 10 of this series will be out approximately 1 week from today. Maybe leave a comment if you've got any thoughts on what else you'd like me to discuss. Take care everyone, I'll see you in the next one. I talked about the Timaeus monster in the last video, and whilst that is an essentially agreed... During the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era, the card Metamorphosis. How is that pronounced?